Waleed, if you like, you can start recording whenever you like. Welcome everybody. My name is Babar Rao. I'm a dermatologist in New York, New Jersey area. I teach at Cornell and Rutgers. I'm a professor there. And then my role today is to basically moderate this session for APPNA. And APPNA is Association Pakistani Physicians in North America, which means Canada and USA. And then we have a section called APPNA Merit, which deals with research and education. For that, this year, chair is Danish Bhatti, who is doing clinical rounds today, taking care of patients. That's what we are supposed to do. And then our co-chair is Shahid Rafiq. He may be here already. He will join us. And I am heading a research section for Danish and Shahid, along working with them. And basically, we have this series of research sections, which started a couple months ago, and they will go all the way to fall. And in winter, we'll come up with some kind of summary document where by making notes from all our speakers and questions. And then we are also doing research locally, especially Dr. Izhar from Toronto, who is in here. He's playing a major role in putting this thing together with us. So eventually we'll come up with a document for any researchers or any student or a faculty if they're trying to do research, where are the resources and where they can get help, and where is the funding or CROs and all that. This program is CME qualified or CM, and we are thankful to RISA, which is one of the committee of APPNA, who will providing support for that. So in reference to that, if you have any material in your talk or in discussion, please let audience know if you have any conflict of interest. I don't think you have any, but if you do, please announce that. So with that, I think it's already 1:03. I will introduce my panelists and our star speaker today. So first of all, I think we have Izhar, Dr. Izhar Hussain. He's a PhD doctor who did his PhD from Karachi many years ago. And currently he's a director of Institute of Biological and Biochemical and Pharmacological Studies at DUHS. And he's also a director of education for IBA. But beyond that, before that, he was with Abbott, and he was directing their marketing and other areas for Middle East and other areas, Egypt and Libya and all that. But more than that, basically, he is now, they have at their lab, they have like a licensed CROs and other labs, and they're in the process of getting their lab qualified for bioanalytical stuff and animal studies. This will be one kind of a lab in Pakistan, maybe the first one. And then in the panelists, we have Dr. Talat Romi, who's also a PhD and a Fulbright scholar, who currently works in Karachi at UHSC, and her area is molecular biology and mostly deals with inflammation. Her current research is focused on atherosclerosis, osteoarthritis, and wound healing. And they are doing a lot of good work at basic science level in that. And our other panelist is Dr. Bhatti from Toronto, Canada, who is also a PhD and has a lot of experience, major experience in bioequivalence, clinical trials, and laboratory sciences. As they come on, they can probably give you a few more minutes about what they do, and which if I miss something. I think what we will do is we will actually let Dr. Izhar get started. And then as they end, then we'll ask our panelists to talk a little bit about their work and answer any questions from the audience as they come in. So with that, Dr. Izhar, please take the stage and tell the audience or enlighten the audience what good things we are doing in Karachi.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I would like to, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum to all the audience and the panelists. And I would like to thank APPNA for providing me this opportunity for this webinar. And my role today is to introduce the bioequivalence and clinical trial facilities at Dow University of Health Sciences, and which we have got licenses a couple of months back, and we are starting it. And we think that it is the right time that we should uh, share with the people in United States and Canada and other places that what we are doing, and we would like to be the global player in this area and not confined to Pakistan. So this is the main purpose of this thing. So my topic is bioequivalence and clinical trial facilities at Dow University of Life Sciences. It is introduction what we are doing here. So we hope inputs from the innovation, global engagement, and stimulating research. So the disclaimer first that this presentation and its content do not have any financial implications and or associated commercial interest. This presentation is strictly meant to disseminate the work, progress of any academic institution and the steps it has been taking to emerge as a leading academic entity and research intensive organization, and for which we seek your help. The scope of today's talk is to introduce about the Institute of Biological, Biochemical and Pharmaceutical Sciences of DAW and our future aspirations and strategic objectives. And APPNA, as it is supporting many initiatives, as Dr. Saab just said, that they are supporting students for clinical research and other type of research. I think it is very important in Pakistan because the research culture is emerging and we are in initial stages. And we request to contribute to the mission of the DAW and our institute in terms of intellectual knowledge and any other support that may be extended in this area. As you know, the DAW has a long history. It was established in 1945 by Sir Daw, who was a governor of Sindh at that time, and we a couple of months back celebrated 75 years of Daw, the diamond jubilee of Daw, and this is a very important period because the Daw has become one of the largest institutes in Pakistan, having providing education and research in multiple disciplines related to healthcare, clinical, surgical, and management, and other biotechnical, biomedical, all areas almost we are covering. So this is an area, and under the leadership of Dr. Saeed Qureshi, who is very much supportive of the ideas and wants us to do to take this initiative from national to global level, and he is also supported by the government of Sindh. The chief minister, who when inaugurating this institute, said that many things which DAW University of Health Sciences is doing, most of the people in Pakistan and outside Pakistan do not know. So this is one of the objective of this presentation also, that we are doing, and we need guidance from those who are doing uh, uh, already leading in these areas. So the bioequivalence and clinical trial current situation in Pakistan, that there are few players in this area for bioequivalence and also for clinical trials. The private sector is basically dominating, and they are recognized players, and they are using social media and everything. We are doing clinical trials and community trials as well. DAW has been doing clinical trials in silos, 69 trials are going on in DAW, and they are available on the global platform as well. And we need to organize a platform in DAW converging the expertise and efforts, strengthening clinical trial unit, providing support through Institute of Biological, Biochemical, and Pharmaceutical Sciences in terms of design, implementation, monitoring, quality assurance, and in clinical trial and bioequivalence studies. I think this is an area where we can do a lot. It is also important because uh, in Pakistan, standard uh, therapeutic guidelines are not available. If clinical trials are done in Pakistan and community trials are done in Pakistan, then we can make our own standard therapeutic guideline and disseminate it. Secondly, the bioequivalence at this point of time, it is not mandatory for the companies to undertake bioequivalence studies when we because it is quite expensive to have bioequivalence studies outside Pakistan, and in Pakistan there are very few uh, uh, entities available who are undertaking this. So we think that when we come into this area, the cost of bioequivalence will go down, and doing locally and with quality, so that the people may come up. And it is also important for them because uh, most of the molecules have more than 100 Me2s. So for those companies who wanted to create their image on the basis of quality, they will come to us and undertake uh, biochemical bioequivalence studies in Pakistan. And the bioequivalence is required for the at this point of time. The bioequivalence studies are done for those chemical entities or those pharmaceutical products which are exported to other countries. So the by requirement of regulatory approval and drug registration across the globe, it is required, but in Pakistan, this is not a mandatory requirement for marketing any drug in Pakistan. But for those who are exporting this drug outside Pakistan, they have to do it because this is the requirement. But for that, we also require some work with the global partners so that we can provide this facility not only on the quality basis, but also we should have certification and accreditation with the global platform so that the people across the border can recognize us. And uh, secondly, in clinical trial relevance to Pakistani population, it is important because in Pakistan the lifestyle is different, our behaviors are different, our genetical makeup is also different. So in genetic contest, we should have clinical trials locally. It will not only provide insight about the medicament which are available in Pakistan, but we can use medicine more effectively, safely, and efficaciously. And it is very important for this type of. And we also think that if clinical trials are conducted in Pakistan, the quality of therapy in hospital we are providing, that will also improve. The quality of hospitals will improve. The quality of the healthcare providers will improve because their orientation and their exposure to different areas. So we think it is very important. Coming to our hub for quality and innovation, the vision we have is to bring innovation in biological, clinical, pharmaceutical sectors by providing studies as per optimum standard for the improvement in quality of life. And our mission is providing services to the industry, researchers and clinicians in healthcare sector by providing cost-effective quality product to our patient. We hope that we will achieve this goal which are being created under these vision and missions. What is the unique thing about DAW and our institute, this IBBPS? One thing which is very important, it is one of the largest tertiary care hospital in Pakistan, set up in Pakistan. And secondly, the major focus of university is research. Research is being conducted, and in terms of research, we would like to partner with global partners so that our research could be recognized and quality of research could improve and we can be recognized globally. Because if we are working in silos in Pakistan, the publication of research and the dissemination of research and information about that research is confined to this country most of the time. So we want that we should work with global partners and particularly uh, multi-center trials. We are also interested in that. We have all the major clinical disciplines in facilities of DAW, and we have allied sciences specialties as well. And the diversity in patient mix is also good. We have about 100 bed hospital in OJA, and we have all beds, equal number of beds in civil hospital, and we have two more facilities which we will talk later. And our OPD per day, 1,000 patients are visiting our facility. 250 patients are being admitted daily, and our emergency is dealing with 200 patients in daily. So these are the and we have a diversity of patients. We are catering upper middle class, lower middle class, and lower class as well. So there is a great mix of the people coming from different socioeconomic areas and also racial backgrounds. We are getting people from north as well as from south in the northwest from Balochistan. So we think that there is we can do a lot in this area. The core strength of this institute, which is the IBBPS, bioequivalence, bioanalysis, pharmacokinetic studies, and trials, along with relevant facilities from clinical trial to phase 4 trials. This institute being under the DAW umbrella facilitate clinical trials in terms of access to local expert as well as recruitment of the studies participant. The location of our city center is very thickly populated area near civil hospital, and near Oja the situation is not different. We are having uh, middle and upper middle class uh, around Oja. So we can get educated people around these facilities, and we can uh, conduct trials in these facilities as well as one facility in two facilities in Gulshan Iqbal, which can also recruit patients for clinical trials as well. We offer clinical solutions, industrial solution, and research solution in this Institute of Biological, Biochemical, and Pharmaceutical Sciences. And this is the view. What we have is bioequivalence and bioavailability studies. This facility is approved by Drug Regulatory Authority of Pakistan, and this facility is we have started working in this facility for bioequivalence and uh, bioavailability studies. So this is some of the pictures from the laboratory and from the volunteer center, and our bioanalytical lab is under the approval process. The Drug Regulatory Authority is uh, looking at from their own point of view. They have conducted audit and they are happy with that. But this is going to be the one of the first bioanalytical lab in Pakistan. It is also certified by ISO 17025 certified, and we have recently conducted training, and we recently got this certification as well. So next we have clinical trial unit, and trial sites are a DAW affiliated hospital, and this is as we have already discussed, that we have ICU, we have OT complexes, and we have diagnostic and reference research laboratory, which was recently inaugurated by Chief Minister. It is one of the best laboratory in Pakistan, which is not only well equipped but also have a facility to conduct thousands of trial per day. So it is very important to note that it is Siemens plant which is there, which is supporting the laboratory work in DAW. And the second, in another area which is also very important from clinical trial perspective is the Institute of Radiology, which is also well equipped, and uh, experts are there, which are not only helping DAW for uh, providing results to the people, but they are also helping other institutes, other tertiary healthcare providers in Pakistan, because the number of experts in this area are in limited number. So going back to the affiliated hospitals which are working with DAW, is they are approved license for uh, Drug Regulatory Authority, and DRAP approved clinical trial sites, DAW, University of Hospital OCHA campus, Sindh Infectious Hospital and Research Center at NIPA, which is in Gulshan Iqbal, and our Dr. Ruth Hospital Karachi and Trauma Center, which is trial specific approvals, and we are going to get the general approval very soon. And uh, recently we have concluded phase 1 trial for passive immunization with COVID-19 antibodies in dog. So it was successfully concluded, and we are going in this site for this phase 2 trial. So this is an information. It is apart from 69 other trials which are being done on silos in dog. Another area which is very important at our preclinical studies, and this is we have one of the largest animal houses in Pakistan, and this facility is uh, doing uh, research, and they are also providing some toxicological studies for conducting toxicological studies for the industry. At this point of time, perhaps he conducted. Dr. Rumi will highlight it better. Some of the studies, one of them is for Dalda, for the content they have in the oil and ghee they are marketing in Pakistan. And that purpose of that study was to provide information to the regulator and the customers that the product they are providing is free from all toxic material, and that is safe to be consumed. This animal house is have large animals and small animals, and this facility can be used for different uh, research work for the industry and for the academics. And it is a one. It is uh, this facility is also have experts which are working on different projects for many years. One of the projects which they are doing is they are studying the anti-diabetic effect of some of the cactus species in Pakistan. So these type of studies are going on, and I think Dr. Talat will uh, highlight more about it. This is the facility where we are going to have another facility for basic manufacturing of anti snake venom serum, which is also very important because in Pakistan this facility will be the second facility which will produce such product for the local population. So the volunteer healthcare facility is another area which I would like to discuss. This facility is meant for recruiting volunteers. Volunteers screening is done there, and the volunteer are kept there, and they have sample storage facility, and the facility of storage have different type of storage sets. Some of them are can store under -80 degree also if we have to send samples outside Pakistan as well. So it is a well-equipped area, and we can. This is a volunteers confinement area. This area can accommodate about 36 people, and it is divided into two equal uh, areas, and one area can be dedicated to the female volunteers, another can be for the male volunteers, and whole area is closely monitored, and every step is taken care of, and we can take care of all the protocols which are required to undertake bioequivalence or clinical trial studies, particularly phase 1 clinical trial study here in this facility. This is the area which is where they can dine and refresh and can also play because it is equipped with some games and some other facilities like television and books which they can read and they can interact. So what we would like for the future, we think that we wish to become a global player, and I said earlier that our management under the leadership of Dr. Professor Saeed Qureshi and the Chief Minister Sen and the Health Minister Sen, they are all very supportive, and they want us to provide facilities for the national healthcare provider and pharmaceutical industry, but also to the global uh, players, and we would like to work with them. And it is for the bioequivalence studies and the clinical trial study. And secondly, the recent approval from GRAP to our facility sites and this institute as CRO as well. So we work as CRO as well, and to achieve this ambition and the target. And we would like to collaborate with the leading academic and research centers of excellence globally, and whatever we have, we can share with them, and what we do not have, we are willing to have it with their guidance and support. And the research with the potential to create impact on policy and the industry and the global society, we would like to work on the policy side as well, because we think that we cannot leave policy area to the bureaucrats and the politicians, because they have different type of mindset, and they do not have much time to work on policies. It is one of the major area which should be taken care of by the academic institutions like DAW, that they should guide the government that what policies they should have. Whether those policies may be incorporated or not, we should keep on contributing it, and we should provide critique on the policies so that the government can take advantage of the presence of such facilities uh, in academic and research institutions like DAW. And we would like the APPNA to help us in this area as well. Uh, Thank you very much. Within dreams and aspirations, we find our opportunities. Thank you. Thank you for your patience listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Izhar. Thank you so much. And I'm sure audience and me, we are pleasantly surprised what extremely nice work you are doing at your institute. Obviously, I wish and we wish other institutes in Lahore and Punjab and Sindh and KPQ, all of them, they will start soon doing some good work like you. I think with that, we'll go to our next panelist. Let her talk a little bit, and then we'll take the questions as they come. So I will go to Dr. Talat Rumi if you want to say a few things about yourself and then kind of work you are doing. Talat, you are muted. Okay,
Thank
good.
you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Rao, and I'm very thankful to this forum that giving me this opportunity. I'm Dr. Talatulvi. I've done my PhD in molecular medicine. I'm working in Joint University of Health Sciences as an associate professor in pathology. In addition, I am taking care of a huge facility that is the Joint Institute of Advanced Biological and Animal Research. As Dr. Izhar has said, this facility for various purpose. We comprises different section. We have Central Animal House facility. We house more than 3,000 rodents, in which rats, incorporated rats, mice, guinea pigs, and rabbits all are used for laboratory experimental purposes. In addition, we have monkeys and horses for a specific and specialized research. Horses we have for production of anti-snake venom sera. We producing annually 500 to 600 hyperimmune plasma to produce anti-snake venom. In addition, we have a facility for laboratory research. These are the well-equipped laboratory conducting animal-based research and the disease-oriented research. Uh, we used to carry on our research on genetically modified animals. This is the knockout mice, transgenic mice, and we have a capacity to maintain these animals in our facility. Conclusively, we perform research at biochemical, cellular, and molecular level, designing animal disease models. In addition to that, we have we would like to work on various other applied projects in which we're looking forward to work with the anti-rabies vaccine. We have a plan to work with monoclonal antibodies. This is our future plan, and the team is working in this area also. Thank you.
Thank you, Talat. We will go to Dr. Masood Bhatti if you want to say a few things.
Yeah, sure. Well, thank you so much. An excellent talk, Dr. Azhar. And I'm actually really pleased and excited to hear about your facility. My background is that I'm a pharmacist by training, and I have a PhD from the University of Alberta from Canada in pharmacokinetic. And I have been working in the bioequivalence field since 1996. I started my career working with Madison, Wisconsin, a company called Covance Laboratories. There I work as a study director, and I was designing pharmacokinetic bioequivalence and bioavailability studies. Then I moved to New York, where I was working for Purdue Pharma, also in the clinical trials. And there I did mostly phase 1, phase 2, and the late stage multi-center clinical trials throughout the world. I was their clinical monitor, and I was traveling very extensively throughout the world in Europe and Latin America and so on. Then I moved back to Canada and started working as a director of clinical operations with Bioequivalence. After working for a few years, then I started my own business at Biopharma Services. That's the company I started from scratch. And once it was established, it was originally was 200 beds for bioequivalence, and we also opened a bioanalytical lab. Then I got excited and the love for the land, motherland. So I collaborated with the group in Karachi, and I started a company like a branch of Biopharma Services. I established a clinic from scratch. And after I brought some clients from Europe, we did our first clinical study there. I was also working as a consultant with the government of Punjab, and we established our first bioequivalence clinic in Sundar, was called PDDRC. I was working remotely, their consultant. I designed their floor plan, and I worked there as a consultant for 2 years. Currently, I'm working as chief of operations at Alpha Healthcare Group in Toronto, where we do all phases of clinical trials. We also have our own medical diagnostic lab. So far, I have done more than 700 clinical trials. My name is on the protocols. So I'm here. I was very excited when Dr. Ozai talked to me that, this is a group, and I said, definitely, this is something I would like to do. I will work as a resource. Anybody has any questions, I'm available. As I said, my background is a pharmacist and pharmacokinetic, and I have done all my life bioequivalence, bioavailability, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 clinical trials.
Thank you, Masood or Dr. Bhatti. We'll take few questions in a minute, but I really want to acknowledge here Uzair, I call him, like I'm probably older than him. Really, we were trying to put APPNA and Pakistan together and Canada together, how to see what are the difficulties and availabilities in Pakistan and how we can connect and help. And then we found Uzair in that somehow. And then he connected like all of you guys to APPNA, and we connected with him. So I really want to say thank you to him, and he needs no credit. He just does it whole day, whole night without asking for any appreciation, but we're really, really thankful to him. I think, Dr. Uzair, you want to say a thing, or let me take this question, then we'll go to Uzair. There is somebody, Umar Hayat, who has an interesting question for the panelists. What is an approximate cost, roughly, for Pakistan's for study of 8 to 16 subjects and a bioequivalence study? I don't understand his questions well, but any of the panelists wants to take it, it's in the chat box, not in the question area.
Sure. If I may.
Go ahead.
Yes. So, saying the bioequivalence studies in 8 to 16 subject is it's a little bit difficult. Maybe it will be a pilot study or exploratory study, because it all depends upon the drug molecules, how it is being metabolized, what is the inter-subject variability, and depending upon that, you have to calculate the N. Because what we're doing is basically, when we're trying to establish what is the difference, is the brand name has the same plasma levels of the generic drug. So basically, we are showing a statistical difference, and for that you need a power, enough statistical power, and it all depends upon the variability of the drug. For example, if drug is metabolized by liver, then it will be more variable. If it's metabolized, it's just excreted by the urine, so it will be less. So the 30 subjects, probably 24 to 30 subjects will be probably will be the minimum which I have seen in my little experience. But the 8 to 16 subjects, I would say probably it is a pilot study, an exploratory study. And when I did studies in Karachi, we were that's few years back. It was I can just say $1,500 US per subject, but I don't know. Dr. Uzair can, Izhar can tell what is the current.
So I think, yeah, Atar or Dr. Anybody else from the panelists want to comment? Otherwise, I'll go to the next question. That's also an interesting question.
Yeah, I think it will, as the Dr. Saab has just said, the cost will depend upon the molecule, and it is not possible to give any feedback like that. If we know the molecule,
Yes.
we can give the cost, because it varies with the molecules and molecule to molecule.
So there is, thank you, Izhar, and thank you, Masood. There is somebody, Muhammad Adnan, who's asking, how research center at DUHS will help individual clinicians who are interested in research Do they provide funding or opportunity for collaborative research with individual clinicians or mentorship or anything else related to research? So I guess this goes to Izhar.
Yes, we are willing to provide them opportunity for research if they bring friends with them.
Okay, okay.
Because we are looking for HEC for the funding, and that is one of the area which is uh, uh, which we are looking forward with APPNA also, that because this is one area which is putting spanners in the running wheel of research in Pakistan, because most of the time the the equipment is not there. If equipment is there, the reagents are not there. Reagents are expensive. The cell lines are not available, and cell lines are expensive, difficult to get. So these are the areas which are important, and we think that as we go ahead, we will find time and something that we can engage individual researchers to work. But
Yeah,
there is
go
another
ahead.
area in which we can work with them, and that is the surveys and the feedback and the qualitative research, which is also very important for creating uh, yeah,
I
supporting the clinicians. Yeah.
I think Dr. Sarwat has some comment. Go ahead, Dr. Sarwat. You're muted.
Assalamu alaikum. Great presentation and really tremendous group of people joining this, especially Dr. Masood Bhatti and others. I'm a radiologist. I'm a professor of radiology, and I know Karachi and Dao and Oja sites. I, in fact, was the first chairman of radiology at the Aga Khan University back in '84 until '91. So currently I'm in the US, professor of radiology, Boston, UMass, University of Massachusetts, having worked at Harvard Medical School and Boston University of Boston University. So the reason I'm saying this is that I am kind of familiar with the radiology operation at OJA and at Dow, and it is pretty good, in fact, and would like to offer my services and help and assistance of any kind that is required in research in radiology, because that's that's what I do. Just to offer to Dr. Izhar and Dr. Talat and others that I will be available. I'm a pretty frequent visitor of Pakistan, once a year, twice a year, except for last year, of course. So my services are available. Just to let you know, also I'm a regular visitor of Dr. Adib Rizvi, SIUT, lecturing and teaching and doing procedures with them. So my services are available. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarwat. That's I know you do a lot, but it's good for people to know. Before I go back to Izhar, there is one question which I have to answer, which is what is the role of APPNA in getting funding for research projects? So APPNA, as it is, obviously does not have funds to invest in Pakistan because it's a non-profit organization. But however, that's our job, me and Uzair and everybody else, to connect doctors in North America with researchers in Pakistan or research companies in Pakistan. And then there are many like me. I'm a APPNA member, but I'm also Babar Rao. I can invest if I like the project. I'll convince 30 of my friends, this is cool, let's do it. So the idea for opening this webinar really is get individual and groups excited about the possibility in Pakistan, how they can help and maybe benefit themselves too. So this is an excellent platform that way. I think here is somebody, Nasra Khan. If someone want to join research in Boston, what is the process? I'm Canadian, so maybe I can answer that separately, or you can ask Masood later, or I'll write my email. It's my first name, last name, babarrao@gmail.com. We do that kind of work, and we have a committee taking care of young physicians all the time, so we can answer that separately. But I think there is another question which I think we may want to answer. HEC has, and somebody comments to me, I think Tasleem, that HEC Open Challenge Fund for different domain. Can you guideline how can we join? I don't know, Samia, who is this question for, but does anybody know about that? Some HEC fund? Izhar, you know? Go ahead, please.
First of all, I'm thankful to Dr. Sarwat Hussain, and in DAW we think that we have a motto to bring the best together. So you are always welcome there, and whatever arrangement I have to make for that, I will do. The second thing that HEC funding, I think Talat Rumi is submitting many projects there, and I think Talat, you should answer this question. I think.
Okay. Go ahead, Talat.
Yeah, actually, there is a lots of opportunity offering in the from the Higher Education Commission, but the problem is that how will you get the grant? The review system is very complicated. Sometimes it does not comply, and sometimes the reviewer comments we cannot claim those comments, and ultimately the situation is that we cannot get the grant. So it is very complicated procedure to get the grant from HEC, though they offer continuously different opportunity, but we are really upset about how we get this grant.
Well, the one reason to do this platform is how do we make that process, maybe provide some guideline from one of the local experts or other experts like Dr. Masood Bhatti and, you know, Dr. Merchant, Dr. Akhtar Hamid here. Uzair, do you want to comment? Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Babarao, for the wonderful webinar and the idea behind this to bring all those people. And I always feel very much honored to be your assistant and the support person. Just to comment on one thing, Dr. Talat Rumi mentioned, I know there are ethical reasons, but just to disclose that they recently presented an idea about developing a new vaccine. And I'm a very pro-vaccine person. So I was also among the assessors from the HEC, and I gave my comment. And from the review perspective, the real limitation is that the criteria is not really applied to different type of researchers. You know, it's confusing even to the person who is submitting the research proposal, that how they are being evaluated. There should be a better feedback system, that they should know what they missed. So that is learning by doing, and they should learn, and there should be a continuous collaboration and having such type of webinar and maybe some case studies that you submitted this project, and we feel, or the assessor, they feel that these are the issues which must be addressed in more detail. So that's my brief comment, and I plan to write to the HEC. So that's all from my side.
I think Sarwat has a comment.
In fact, we had a wonderful presentation in writing research grants, I think 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
And as you know, we know that this forum is to get connect with the people. So because research writing is a specialty in itself, and you know, there are nuances and there are indicators and there are hidden messages and certain words that you know, attract the attention of the funders. So I think we could get together Dr. Talat and Dr. Izhar with the speaker that we had 2 weeks ago.
That was another Dr. Bhatti, yes.
I think there was another, another Dr. Bhatti. And it will be, I think you will find, Doctor, that we all learn more with this kind of collaboration, and you shall be successful. I'm very confident.
Yes, so we will definitely connect them. And Dr. Sarwat, as you probably know, we are preparing a document based on all these discussions which are recorded, and in the end kind of make a resource document for everybody in Pakistan, Canada, and here to use. But I was wondering, Uzair, do you think it will be a good idea if we take this HEC grant writer application in one of the webinars and try to tackle it? What the hell is that application? I think Dr. Masood Bhatti and many of them can handle that. Or maybe we can advise them, okay, this application is great, or we can say this application is not great, you need to modify or justify. Maybe I'll pull in one of these webinars.
May I suggest, sorry to interrupt, that perhaps we should think about holding a workshop on,
grant.
on HAC or, general for everybody to learn.
Yeah, I think that's definitely that will be coming, but I think that's a good idea. Dr. Merchant or Dr. Hamid, if you are available, if you want to comment, please go ahead. If you're busy, then we go back to Izhar or Uzair.
That's all right. I can add on a few things.
Go ahead,
As
Dr. Hamid.
as other speakers has already mentioned, grant writing is an art, and even in Western societies, the grant application and management system has got.
Give me 2 minutes.
Okay.
And often in United Kingdom as well, some universities and organizations do struggle getting on the grant ladder. So there are two ways we can look at it. One, improving the grant application writing system to make sure that the bidding is done as much as possible in the best way. The grant application is put together nicely, all the costings and the concepts are being correctly identified. But also partnering with the right organization is being very important. Often the funding is being pushed into some direction on institutions who have a history of successful grants. So whenever a new applicant comes in and you start bidding for millions of pounds, obviously you have no portfolio and history of successful management of the grant. And that's been seen as a very weak point by the grant funding bodies. So often somebody who's jumping on the grant writing ladder, either palling with somebody who had a successful record in the past and applying together, or going for a small grants, going for a little project, delivering maybe a big project into smaller sub-projects. And after successfully delivering one small project, that's seen on your record that you've delivered it, and how efficient you were in making that research in public domain, one, publications, and two, disseminating research to the industry. So how much industry benefited from that output. That builds on to the next grant application. So these are the things which we can do from our submitting side, but also from the HEC side, there are some problems. I've personally supported some institutions in Pakistan in the previous round for submitting their grant applications. There were teething problems. HEC has not got good history and performance record on it. So they're also new in the game. Often their websites have problems. Their funding spreadsheets are not correct. Their performers have got problems. Submission system has got some IT issues. And as Dr. Izhar was saying, that the assessment criteria has not been disclosed. So somebody who is putting the grant application together, they don't know what the assessor is going to use the criteria, then you can't prepare it against them. The feedback are often not very professional. So, but that's common across the world. Sometimes if it goes to the wrong assessor, then you have got a very poor chance of getting it through. Sometimes assessor have got conflict of interest, which HEC does not bring into consideration to ensure that the grant review process goes to the independent assessors if they've got any bias towards the strategy being proposed. Maybe, for example, if somebody is not very pro in biological products, or if somebody is not very pro vaccine approach, then obviously that assessor going to always comment negatively about the proposal. So that bias is also an issue from the HEC side. So there is a need to put the HEC body on the board as well, and see what challenges they are facing. Are they struggling with the assessors? So maybe APPNA and other Pakistani foreign associations can provide quality assessment system to the HEC. We can help them with the review process. We can help them with the management side. So then some universities are not being left out of the grant application system. So there are lots of issues from both sides.
Thank you, Hamid. Thank you so much. I think Akhtar wants to say something. He's standing in some sunny area in Toronto or somewhere.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm just outside. It was very lovely to hear from all of you, and learned a lot in terms of how the research things are being very active lately. I would like to introduce that I'm also a DAO alumni, graduate of 1992. And what we have started in Canada in 2017, It's an NGO which is called Canada Pakistan Research and Development Council. And for that, we started some activity across the two countries. And I'm gladly say that our champion, Dr. Izhar, is holding one post from the life sciences area. And we have personally and also as a team managed to brought 3 research so far, one from Manitoba University funded clinical trial to Indus Hospital. And currently we are in very close contact with Dr. Qureshi, our Vice Chancellor, and had 2 COVID-related research is being in process from University of Toronto. So as you mentioned that you always have something missing, so we are bringing the research with the fund. So anything missing can be looked after through those funded trials. Now, in view of, I have to echo what Hamid Merchant was saying, and I would like to add that the DRAP is also need to be, has to look into in detail how, if we are bringing the trial, even an international trial we are bringing, they put a lot of red tapes in terms of getting it through. And we had, and Dr. Izhar has nicely brought them in for discussions. But again, the feedback and all those things are not going through the system. I mean, no matter how much you say, we are willing to participate and to shape up some clinical trial research programs, even discuss with NIH Dr. Amir Ikram, also Dr. Putta, and they are all our part of our Canada Pakistan Research and Development Council. So me being a president, I'm looking after all around this. We have also IT, we have also life sciences, we have medical health sciences, we have engineering and AI and robotics with collaboration with NUST. I would just like to just say this word, and I think it's really good we can collaborate and we can bring research with the high benchmark, with funds back to our Dow Institute of Health Sciences or other nice institutes.
Thank you, Akhtar, so much. I think Dr. Ubaidullah Malik wants to say something. He's been raising his hand. Go ahead, Ubaidullah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rao. I'm Dr. Ubaidullah, right now Director at Drug Regulatory Authority of Pakistan. First, I want to congratulate Dr. Izhar for a wonderful work. As such type of work is really a difficult task, especially when we work in the public sector. Important point for any bioequivalence and clinical study institute is its accreditation of its facility. In fact, approval by any regulatory authority is based on the minimum requirement, but in order to have the international accreditation and international collaboration, we really need to have some collaboration work with some such centers which have already worked for any reference regulatory authorities approval. So I suggest to be the part of such working group or such be centers where these studies have already been accredited by the WHO or any of the stringent regulatory authorities or reference regulatory authorities, so that you can put yourself in the international arena as well. So it was about the Dow. Second point, which Dr. Akhtar Hamid has pointed out, in fact, the canvas of clinical trial, as I already shared in a couple of presentations ago, that it has been started since 2017 in Pakistan. Although we have tried to be the front line in the COVID as well and various other clinical trials for the speedy approvals, but if you still think that there is some red tapeism and there are some problems in granting the approval, so I am available to connect you with the relevant division and directorate who is looking after the clinical trial approval. And I assure you that we will facilitate for granting any type of clinical trial if it comes under the ambit of relevant regulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ubaidullah. That was important that you talked so that people can get some guidance. I mean, we all do trials in America and Canada, and there are never a smooth process. There are always difficulty. There is this clinical.gov, they're always after you, and then your IRB, and then your funding. So there is always a, it's a process. But I understand, but the good thing is like we are all connected now. And I think by just learning from each other, I think it'll get better. So anybody have a comment? Because usually I like to finish on time and start on time because people have aftaris and everything else.
Yes.
Go ahead, Masood.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank all the participants. I think our focus as well as funding has to be broader, like for providing the tech transfer to Pakistan. What I feel is that the bioequivalence studies has to be done for the approval of generic drugs in Pakistan, and there is a value behind it. And currently we are not following it. And even in the Pakistani Manufacturer Association, they are saying is that they are going out to do the bioequivalence studies because the other countries, when they are trying to export their products, they are asking for bioequivalence studies. So worldwide, there is an awareness that the drug, without having done the bioequivalence study, can lose potency. It will not have the same effect as the brand drug. That's why throughout the world, the bioequivalence studies are the golden standard. So what I wanted to appeal and want to tell everybody in the group is that why we not focus on having the government of Pakistan implement the BE criteria before the drug is approved in Pakistan. And I have been trying that since like, at least from last 20 years, 15 years, I tried to establish clinic in Pakistan. I did collaborated with the government of Pakistan, but the thing is, there is a value behind it. It's not just for the sake of academic exercise. Doing a bioequivalence study is tell you that if the drug is good or if drug is not good. So I would like to urge everybody that, think about this way, that there is a scientific rationale behind it to conduct the bioequivalence studies for the approval of a generic drug. Thank you.
Well, that was an excellent comment and very informative for people who don't do that regularly, people like me. Uzair, any comment? Otherwise, we're going to close. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Babar. Just a few words. Well, they say that the journey of 1,000 miles start from the first step, and I think we have taken many steps. And in the debriefing session, as we mentioned last time, we need to hold a meeting about a subcommittee like grant writing, and there should be a mentor. We need to have a subcommittee on bioequivalence, and I will request Dr. Bhatti to head it, chair it, because there should be a subject specialist who should really incorporate. And when we write the paper, they should be the lead person on that chapter, because those are the subject specialists and they can address. And with the Urdu share, वो मैं अकेला ही चला था जानिब मंजिल, लोग आते गए और कारवां बनता गया. We should never give up. That's my message. Everyone counts. Everyone counts. So things will start happening. Things will start appearing.
Inshallah.
That's my motivation, inshallah.
Yes. So Waleed, at this point, you should cut off the recording and people can talk freely if they want to. But I think on a good note, my fellow just told me we have a paper published in Science Today, which I'm very happy about that.
Congratulations.
Okay. So nature science. All right. So